Okay, so I want to talk about, well, before we start, my two things. Do you guys have anything, questions, comments, anything you want to start with?
I guess I mentioned it when you made the calendar. My note said that the group ones are supposed to start on the first Monday and not the third. And
yes, and I think I fixed that.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 days ago, maybe last week. It was not very long ago.
That was all, because I'm doing my calendar like right now as we're talking.
Yes.
So
yeah, and we don't have to do them all at the same. We can kind of just play with it and see how it works if we like doing that, and don't feel like you can't change if it doesn't work for you for whatever reason. So,
well, and sorry, I missed that and I wasn't able to go and listen to the call. So are we trying to do challenge groups all together?
Well, so this was like, when did we talk about this? Like a month ago, right?
But I think it was around about the organization thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't have to do them together. It's an option if you want to do them together. Like Becky and I, the one that started August 21st, Becky and I are running together because she wanted to. Amanda wanted to do her own, so she's doing her own. So I think there's pros and cons to doing it both ways. Personally, when I'm not like, this is just my like control freakness coming out, right? But when I'm not like the only one in charge of the group, I feel more like I feel connected to the group. Yeah. So it's harder for me. I'm trying to like do it and stay involved, but it's really easy for me to be like, oh, I don't need to get in there today because it's not my day. And then I just like don't do as good a job keeping up with it. Yeah. But I'm also happy to run them together if people want to and whatever. So, yeah. So I made, Shannon, did you see, like I made a Google Calendar that just has like basic stuff. And I didn't put the like free groups on there because I wanted to talk a little bit more about it and see kind of what our thoughts were with that. So yeah, anything, I mean, we can just go right into that, or if you have any other questions. Okay, so thoughts, pros, cons, anything about the organization group?
So it was hard to get people engaged. Like when I posted it, and then I posted that you could get the book and the calendar and how all that works, it was like, comment. And then there was like nothing from the majority of those people, which was a bit disappointing. Yeah. And,
well, I didn't realize it. I didn't get any notifications of people posting in it until like, and I was popping in there, but then I wasn't, and then I realized the day before I went live that there was a question on the toys, and so I was like, shoot, there were notifications of people posting, and I didn't see them.
Right. Like, and I think for me too, I turned off all my notifications on everything last week because I need to like be working when I'm working and not when I'm not.
Right.
And so I think that was hard. And maybe Amanda can speak more to this when she can, but I don't know if I like the event thing. Like maybe that just had to do with my notifications, but I feel like a group is a little bit easier for me. I don't know what the difference is, but I like had a hard time finding it, and then I couldn't see where anyone was posting, and then it ended and it was gone. Like I can't find it. I don't know if it's still there somewhere, and I just don't know how to see it. So for me, I don't, I think that the event, maybe a group is better. I don't know. And maybe I just need to learn how to use an event.
No, I agree. I think a short-term group would be a lot better. Because then even within the group, you can make an event within the group. So be like, I'm recording at 5 o'clock today, and you can make that an event within the group, and you would get a notification of that.
Okay.
And so, yeah, sorry, I'm so sorry for my workout. It's awesome.
You're good.
That's
awesome. Okay, so group, not event. Yeah, kind of in agreement there. What about, I think the engagement probably had to do with the content, right? Like that was, we had it kind of set up much more as a watch this, then interact with this, right? Maybe that's just and I don't know how, I mean, we tried, right? Like, show us your projects. Did anyone do that? Were there any projects? Like I said, I was having a really hard time.
Well,
people said like, I want to work on my garage. I saw that a couple times.
Yeah, so the garage people never took a picture of their garage, which is funny though, because one of them actually is a friend of mine, and she had her garage sale that weekend.
Oh, really?
So, like, but she didn't post it. I was like, Danielle, you need to see, like, hey, I actually did my garage sale this weekend.
Right.
No, but like Heather posted pictures of her closets when I did the closets, and when you did the closets, Vanessa, and I commented on one of them, and then I think my mom posted some pictures of the dining room table, which has always been a disaster since like I can remember. But not that. That was like, I feel like that was just about it as far as pictures go.
Okay.
And then yeah, there was those few garage comments. Somebody who posted about just needing a good purge. Maybe it was Becky's cousin or something.
Maybe.
Anyways, yeah, that was like just, and like there was a handful of introductions.
Yeah.
Now it's just about it. So like, yeah.
So going forward, do we think, do we want to do some kind of non-fitness group in the future? Do we want to give it another try and see? Do we want to abandon this idea altogether? It doesn't hurt my feelings either way. Do we have an idea for a group that maybe would be more engaging than this?
Been brainstorming about what I want to do and if we want to do it. I'm really into the emotional eating and binge eating and mindset kind of things. So in my head, I'm like, that would be kind of a cool free group to just do steps of that or something. I just did a little Lindsay Matway 7 Steps to Success, and they had good tips in there. If that's something I want to do later, I don't want to completely copy her, but
they put it on the internet.
Right. But yeah, my big interest in things is emotional eating and the mindset of things, because that's what I've been going through and working through. And
yeah,
so
and I think I know like a lot of my coaches, because that's my issue too, right? Like most of us have an issue with that. So my guess is most of our people, that's a really important topic too.
I feel like a lot of people are in that boat. Everyone I seem to talk to and post about.
And also like my observations as far as like eating, and like when each of us posts like what we made for dinner that night or whatever, I feel like more people comment on that, like give me the recipe, or just there's just more interaction. So I think it'd be really cool, to do a group on the binge eating and such.
You guys hear that?
Also include
like a herd of cattle upstairs in my house.
But yeah, to do the binge eating and like show that your food can taste good and you can prep it ahead of time to avoid those situations and things like that. Just my observation as far as interaction on our individual pages when we post things that are food related.
Yeah. So Shan, as you've been brainstorming, what are your thoughts for how that could work as a group?
Well, there's a lot of different ways that we can approach it. I mean, I've been doing a couple different workbooks, and there are different steps that you can take to even understand that you're an emotional eater or a binge eater. So you can break it down in so many ways. You can be like, okay, you need to start with being present and understanding that's here. If you're already past that step, working with, obviously talking about nutritious food and viewing food as fuel instead of viewing it as a person, because that's kind of where it is. We're using it for comfort or relief or whatever it is, and kind of laying that out. And we can lay out, it doesn't take a week, obviously, to get over this. Wish it did. So there's that. There's
kind of a good lead in and having more support too, right? Like,
yeah.
Anyway.
There's so many different things. Even just talking about it with everyone else helps you understand it's there and we're all in it. Understanding that the kind of, well, and this can go on a totally different group, the cyclical dieting thing. I was talking to my sister-in-law about this because she's going through this right now, is she'll get really strict and then binge out. And that's what I do too. And I have for a long time. I'm feeling like I'm finally getting past that a little bit, but there's also, when you do eat a meal, if it's a healthy meal, you need to make sure it's satisfying to you, not just in amount, but taste. Because if you end up eating something that you're not satisfied with, you're going to want to eat more, even though you're full, technically. So like there's a couple different points that to kind of roll around in there that we could break into a week of. That's what I've been working on anyway.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And so just there, I wrote down 5 main topics. And I don't know if you have them already written out, so you have that. But I think
I need to write more.
But no, that's good. So, I mean, I think that's a really great idea, and that could work really well if we kind of had, and I think the other thing that's nice about that topic, like organizing is great, right? But it doesn't get people like feeling things and making a connection to you, right? Like you don't have I mean, maybe you can bond over like how organized your linen closet is, right? But it's not, it's like not the same as like really talking about real stuff that is going on and makes a difference and helps you build those connections. So, I like this idea a lot. And I think this is something that we could, not easily, right? But I think we could kind of recreate this month after month, and get better at our talking points and how we're helping people. Whereas, I mean, organizing, we could share the same project over and over, but it doesn't really feel the same as that. I love that idea, Shan. I think that's great.
Thanks.
Yeah. Amanda, any thoughts or additions, things you think that should be a part of that, or?
No, I think that would be great. I think when you brought up the whole satisfying meal thing, that was one of the things that, at least that I struggle with a lot when it comes to trying to eat healthy and the meal prepping and planning and things like that. Because like when I very, very first did my first program, 21-Day Fix, like it took me probably the first like week and a half to figure out how to make my breakfasts and lunches, or my breakfast and dinner, satisfying enough to end, start my day and end my day and feel good about it. Like figuring out where I wanted the carbs and where I wanted the protein, and my fruit and things like that, because I like sugar. So anyway, so I think that would be really, really cool. And then just sharing, recipes that are most satisfying, or meals that are most satisfying for us, and why they're most satisfying for us, that help us to avoid, the binging. But I'm sure you have probably all kinds of stuff on it because you were in depth into it already. But anyways, I like that. I think, yeah.
Okay. So what was our plan for these, Amanda, since I made the calendar but did a terrible job? Was this the third week? Was this the third week? Was that our plan for these?
Yeah, so I still have that as the third.
I'm not feeling offended, don't worry. It's really hard to hurt my feelings. So
I felt proud of myself that I took notes and I could find them.
I did too, and I lost them. So I don't know what I did. And I have all my notes in 2 notebooks, and I swear I looked through every page of both of them, and I couldn't find where they were. So
that's funny.
Okay.
I'm living off my Google Drive currently, and so I have a homeworks folder.
Ooh, I like it.
I need to get more into Google. So, have you heard of Google Streak?
Yeah, I keep hearing people talk about it, but I haven't looked into it.
Oh yeah, the National Wake Up Call. That's where I heard it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't really know anything about it except the name and that it's some kind of organizational tool. Yeah, I'll put it on my list of things that I use to look at. But, Okay, so week 3, let's plan on this. Let's see, what is that? The 15th or something?
Okay.
You're right, it's the 4th right now. 11, 18th.
Okay.
So I think for free groups, I mean, if you have someone that you're talking to and it's not going anywhere else and you think this is a good option, great. I think usually for free groups, inviting like a week before is usually good because they're easy to get people in and then you're not having them wait for so long. So I have a plan to start inviting to that one, like, next Monday, beginning of next week, something like that.
Okay.
And we'll set this one up as a group. Yeah.
Yeah. And we should probably make it public though, just in case like we tell people about it and then we add them to it. You just get more publicity. It's not like
maybe closed, not public.
Okay.
I think that way people feel, then they feel a little bit more comfortable sharing stuff, but they can still find it and see it. Because you can still see a closed group if you're searching for it. They just have to request to get in it.
Oh, okay.
Shan, do you want to kind of make an outline of topics?
Sure.
I did tell you what I wrote down.
Yes.
Okay.
I wrote down some, but I may have missed.
Okay. So I have being present, food versus fuel. I just wrote talking, but I think maybe that means like talking about your feelings with people. Is that where you?
Yeah. Letting, actually telling people.
This is why my notes are so helpful.
Yeah, that's okay. That helps me understand, not holding everything in.
Yeah. Cyclical dieting, and then satisfying and healthy. And I would add, and maybe this works in somewhere else, maybe this works in food versus fuel, or food as fuel, I guess is what that should say. But focusing on, one thing that I think has been helpful for me is focusing on what you can eat and should eat instead of just what's bad, right? So
a great little exercise for that, actually.
Okay, great. So yeah, if you want to kind of make an outline and like, I don't know, some ideas, and we can kind of divvy up what areas we want to take or add to it as we have thoughts. That would be great. And then we can kind of, I would say for this group especially, keep your posts or whatever you end up with as we go, and I'll try to remind us of this. Keep them like saved somewhere, or maybe we can make like a Google curriculum or something for this group, like on the Google Drive somewhere, so that we have it to kind of reuse regardless of who's in the group or which days we're doing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. And I think Becky will be really on board with this too, because I know she struggles with this a lot. Okay, great. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the 500 PV thing. Did you guys get to watch any of that?
Yes.
I did not. John was on day shift last week, and it totally screwed me up so bad. Like, I know that's like a normal person shift, but not for our family, and I could not get my act together to save my life.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I thought that face meant that you watched it and were like super overwhelmed, which would make sense because it's kind of confusing if you're not like really into volume. And I honestly haven't gotten super caught up in my volume stuff ever, so we'll see how well I can even explain anything. But the basic gist, so I know we've talked like very briefly about volume. Shan, do you feel like you have a good concept of volume? Okay. So basically what happens with your volume, this is like the very basics. You get volume points for every thing that you sell, basically. Sometimes like clothes don't count as volume, but everything else counts as volume. So you have personal volume, and then you have team volume. And honestly, the team volume kind of confuses me, and mostly this is based on personal volume. So we'll just start there. So personal volume, you get volume points. Well, let me just go into my back office and see if this makes a little bit more sense. But basically, you get volume points for everything that you sell. It's almost like a point per dollar kind of. It's like a little bit less than that, but that's basically how it works out. It's kind of like your discount. The volume points are the same as like the coach discount prices, basically. So like Shakeology is 90 PV if your coach is buying it or if a customer is buying it. That makes sense? So, sorry, I'm trying to talk and type and share my screen all at the same time. So I'm going to go into my online office here. What? And you guys will see that I have built not so smartly, and I'm readjusting so that I actually get some volume on the right side. Okay. So, you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So at the beginning of the month, everything's at 0 here. So if we go into personal volume, so you can see week 4 last month and week 1, I have 350 personal volume points. Last week, I guess, week 1. So it does it in a 5-week cycle. So your volume, and this is how your like activity is kept track of and things. It's every 5 weeks you need to have 90 PV to stay. Actually, I think to be Emerald it's only 50, but once you're Diamond, it's 100. So it's kind of, it changes a little bit, but it's based on a 5-week cycle. So if you're getting Shakeology once a month, then that keeps you 90 PV within every 5 weeks. If you're not, then you have to have some kind of a sale for that many PV to add up over the course of that time. I'm explaining these words so weird. So
Love it.
Interrupt me if I'm saying this wrong. Okay, so if you come down in here, oops, this part right here, so this is like, I don't even know how they're projecting customer PV. Maybe people that are on direct or something, that's how that's adding in. Team volume, and then it has right leg and left leg. So see, this is where like your commissions are really based on. So you want, when you build, or not commissions, sorry, your bonuses. So my left leg, I should like draw them because I never know how helpful this is. So Amanda, do you even get the like right leg, left leg, how you get bonuses kind of thing? Have we talked about that? Okay. So I'm going to draw a picture that's going to be really tiny and hopefully you can see it. Okay. So this is me at the top. Can you see that? Okay. It's me. That's just a person with 2 legs. That's all that we're seeing there.
You're awesome.
And then I'm going to have one coach on one side, one coach on the other side. Okay? Like that. So that's a right and a left. So for me, my left leg is my strong leg, as they call it. So I got put where I am placed on Tiffany, under Tiffany. I'm on her left leg. So that means whenever she adds people on her left leg, they go under me. They all come down here. So that is my strong leg because more than just me are building on it. So Tiffany's building on it. Any, like Susan Spencer, she's underneath me. So anyone she builds on her left leg goes on my left leg. And so that's why I have 1,000 team volume points on that side, because that's not just my coaches. Does that make sense? So that's like everybody else's volume to a certain extent. It only goes down like a few levels, I think like 3 or 4 levels. Mm-hmm. But all of those roll up into my volume on that side. So this side has like I'm not even going to try to draw people, but like Susan is a diamond. And so she's got like a bunch of people on her leg, and then I add people on that leg, blah, blah, blah. There's like a ton of people on that leg. Okay. So the way that you make bonuses is every time you have 200 PV on one side and 100 PV on the other side, mm-hmm. Every time that happens, you make a bonus.
Okay.
So if I have tons and tons and tons of people on this side, I should have been, for the last 2 years, basically only putting people on my right leg to try to balance out that volume. so that I make as many cycles as possible. So you can see right here, I have 0 on my right leg right now, which means I'm not going to get any cycles this week until that number goes up. This volume doesn't go away really pretty much ever. There's like an instance where it can, but it almost never does. It's after like 20,000 cycles or something like that, then it will reset. But so that volume stays there. So it's building and building and building. And if all of a sudden my right leg is like kicking butt and I have tons of volume, it will just keep cycling until it runs out of the 100 points on the other side to do it. Does that make sense? So those cycles happen every week. So every week, however many times you have 200 on one side, 100 on the other, you'll get a bonus.
Okay.
So when we're talking about, and I think, let's see, there's another way. You come into here, my volume, and I go my carryover volume. It will show you the like tens of thousands of volume points that are on the left side. And the right side has 54 because no one else is building over there, and I've been slow, and I was trying really hard to hit diamond, so I kept like putting people side to side because that is what your rank matters on. And it's stupid because really my goal is to not have to work anymore. What do I care if I hit freaking diamond? Like my bonus goes up $4 a cycle. Oh well, right? And I should have been building just for volume instead of for rank, and whatever. You live and learn, and now I don't care if I even care about hitting diamond for a while. At a certain point you need to, because you max out your cycle bonus. So when you're emerald, you can only get $250 a week in cycle bonus until you're diamond. And then I think when you're diamond, you can only get $1,000 a week, and then you have to be 1-star to get more.
I think it's 2.
Is it 2,000? Okay. I was going to say it might be 1,500, but yeah. So Shanna should be teaching this lesson because I get
no, the video,
the numbers.
Did you see the video that Tiffany posted under someone asked about where they should post their spouse?
Yeah.
And there's a video under there. I just watched it the other day. That's the only reason I know.
You're good. And I haven't like revisited this stuff in a long time. So yeah, so you get maxed out at rank for how many cycles you can make. But I mean, right now I'm making like the most is like 3 cycles a paycheck. So I'm making like $50 a paycheck at most, right? So it's like, I'm not close to that 250. So I should really just be building for volume until I get closer to maxing it out. And then I need to be diamond to make more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
So with the 500 PV model, what the whole gist of that basically is, one, to not focus on just Success Club because that's stressful and dumb, right? And it's the best value for sure. Like, no question, a challenge pack is the best value, right? But it's not the best fit for everyone. Not everyone needs all of those products, right?
Right.
For a lot of people, they do need the whole package. For some people, they don't. And so this video, if you have, oh shoot, I'm already running out. If we run out, I'll just start a new one and send you guys a new link, because unless you're just done talking to me, but if you want to keep going. So like what she was saying is like, it kind of it gives you way more freedom if you look at it as going in it with a volume in mind rather than Success Club points in mind. So you can go, her example was like, you can go to the CrossFit person that doesn't really need community and they don't really need workouts, right?
Right.
But maybe they need Beachbody Performance Line. And so it's a lot easier to kind of talk to them specifically about their needs and feel comfortable talking to them about their needs. And getting to know the product line way better rather than just like, here's a challenge pack, because not everyone needs a challenge pack.
Yes, Energize is amazing.
See, and I don't like Energize, but yeah.
I don't like the taste necessarily, but man, when I roll out of bed and gulp down those 8 ounces, I'm like, ping.
See, well, caffeine does nothing for me. So I've tried it. I really liked the taste, and I was like, wanted it to be awesome. And I was like, why am I drinking all this caffeine? Because I can't even tell I'm doing it. But see, it's good. Like and the Recover, I love. I actually need to get some right now. But there's so many products that are in there that we forget about and don't use because we're trying to sell a challenge pack all the time, that we're not really offering up our full potential or whatever to our clients. So that's number one, is not to be limited by the challenge pack, because there's so many other great options that we have. Number two is, so basically the whole premise is that I'm teaching you guys to teach your coaches to teach their coaches to hit 500 PV. And if you keep this going, to be emerald and to hit 500 PV, and if that's your focus, you're not stressing out about getting 35 coaches, right? You're not stressing out about challenge pack. You're really working to make really big fans of the products, whatever product it is that works for them. You're making like big time fans that love the products and want to keep using them because you picked the right product for them, not for you. And you're focusing on volume, not Success Club points. And so it's less stressful and it's easier to just have a conversation and meet a need, rather than you don't want what's going to get me Success Club points, see you later, right? Which I don't think any of you guys are doing. And really, like, my whole time, that's kind of been my focus. There's a lot of coaches, and I've met people just through Facebook and stuff that are like, oh, well, I tried to do whatever with this other coach, but when I told them I didn't want Shakeology, they wouldn't let me in their groups anymore, which I'm like, it's the dumbest thing ever. But lots of coaches do that. So it's never been my thing. I've never not let people in groups because they didn't get a challenge pack. So I don't think I've trained you guys to only sell challenge packs, but I think kind of knowing that we're purposefully trying to change our culture kind of helps take the pressure off of that. Success Club is cool. Sometimes I will totally own this. This last month, I don't know why, I really wanted the sweatshirt. I don't usually get that worked up about the prizes. I don't really care about prizes. But I was like, I really want that sweatshirt. I'm going to be so pissed if I don't hit Success Club this month because I really want that sweatshirt. So sometimes if you need a little extra whatever and that is working for you, great. And Amanda, I think if it was me, because I did the same thing, and you've already crushed it your first month and you want that free ticket, focus on Success Club for 2 months, right? And I don't think if you don't get it, it's not like I'm going to be like, oh, Amanda, you really let me down. But I think if there's a real reason to have that as a goal that makes sense, great. Do that. Whether it's a sweatshirt or a free ticket, awesome. But I don't think we need to make it that's the focus all the time, and your worth and your value and your success as a coach is based around Success Club. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I've already chilled out quite a bit over the Success Club.
It's really nice to hear that, actually, because that's everything I heard a year ago is Success Club, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, and it's stressful, I think. It puts this whole pressure and you forget why you started because all you care about is your points that you're trying to get, right? You forget to a certain extent about all the people that you wanted to help because you're trying to meet your own need rather than meet their need.
I went back over the goals that I first made in, I guess, technically July, the end of July when I signed up to be the coach. And the Success Club, the ticket was the bottom. It was at the bottom of those. And so I was like, what am I really focusing on? And that's when I started really looking into the volume, because volume is what's determining my earnings. My earnings is what's more important on my goals as far as providing for my family.
Right,
so
exactly.
It has nothing to do with earning.
Right.
Moving product.
And really, if you want a free ticket, awesome, and do it. But if you focus on your volume and by next June you have 5 coaches earning 500 PV, who cares if you have to pay $200 for a ticket, right? It's not going to be that big a deal because your income is going to be supporting it. So it kind of balances out, I think. I mean, if I can get my right leg doing stuff to do something with all of these numbers, hello, that would be amazing, right? This is so many freaking cycles that could happen right here that I'm just not using because I haven't been training my coaches well to work on their volume. So that's the bigger thing. So getting to Emerald matters because you can't start earning cycle bonuses until you're at Emerald. So that's lesson number 1 is get to Emerald. But really, I mean, maybe it's not even lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is get your customers to be huge, crazy fans of the products and do that by serving their need.
Yeah.
But in that video, she went into like way more specifics about like, if you're diamond strong, I think is what she called it, which is like you have 4 coaches on each side that each are earning 500 PV and are emeralds. You're going to be making like, what was it, Shan? Like $4,000 a week or something.
Well, you can only cycle so much as a diamond.
As a diamond, right. Yeah. So, but I mean, it was like, however, maybe it was a month. Maybe she had,
I think she said like 7,000 or a month or something like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would be great, right? Who wouldn't like an extra $7,000 a month?
Amazing.
But I think even starting just like get to Emerald and focus on volume, not Success Club. And really, like, Amanda, you're in a freaking awesome boat because you need one coach, and then you don't have to pay for John to sign up as a coach, right? So really, you need to find one person that like really thinks it's a great deal, and then, I mean, you'd have to be producing his volume, so that makes that stressful. But you're not paying an extra fee to have another business center you're in charge of. So Shan, Amanda's husband is ex-military, so they get like free everything basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I was this close to actually signing up under his name as a coach to get that free everything, but ethics. Ugh.
I know.
You can use them later. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do you guys want me to start a new call? Do you have questions, things you want to talk about, or do you have to go?
I just wanted to ask one thing.
Yeah. If we get cut off, I'll just start a new one.
Do we have anything set up for like a coach sneak peek or anything like that? I know you invited me to one with Tiffany a long time ago.
Yeah.
I haven't seen or heard anything about that, so I'm curious about that.
So, okay, we used to do coaching at a glance. Like Tiffany would do them. I would put people in there. I did my own for a little while. I and Tiffany and most people that I know, I mean, a lot of the top coaches do them regularly, so they must be helping people. But I have not had great success. Tiffany really hasn't had great success.
Okay.
I think one thing that maybe is a better option that we can talk about is doing like a 1 hour call. Like
right. Instead of a group. Yeah.
Instead of a group, because I think what happens is the group, you put them in the group and then they kind of get lost in there. Yeah. So for me, it's been way more effective to get on the phone with people. If we want, so I kind of just started doing that. I just try and talk to people on the phone. But if you're feeling like you're not quite there and you want someone else to kind of explain things or, you know, be able to chime in but not have to be in charge of the whole conversation, I'm totally open to doing calls. We can do like once a month a webinar, even for just like a month or two, and see what we think if we want to keep doing them. I'm open to whatever. I mean, we can do a coaching at a glance. I have some videos I made that I probably should redo because they're really old, but we can do that. I just don't think they're super effective to do it that way. Okay. But that's my thought.